See, with the long weekend, our tech people have had a little extra time. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't want the worship to end this morning. I'm like, 2 songs? That's not enough. This is great. Let's keep going. Anyway, it's the Labor Day weekend, and I don't know about the rest of you, but I absolutely love long weekends. They're my favorite, and my favorite thing to do on a long weekend is stay at home and spend time with my family. I don't know about the rest of you. The fact that you're here probably means that you can empathize and that you agree, but these people that battle traffic on the highways and they hang out at tourist attractions that are overcrowded, I just don't get it. My own neighborhood is more peaceful and serene on long weekends than at any other time. This afternoon, if the rain holds off, I'll be sitting on my back deck and we'll be grilling something that'll be good. And I bet you the whole afternoon, 4, maybe 5 cars drive by. I mean, it's just perfect. It's the best. So I want to wish all of you, first of all, a terrific long weekend. I hope you really enjoy this time. Those of you with parents enjoying it with your kids before they go back to school. Those of you who don't and you have to go back to work on Tuesday, I hope you enjoy the rest of this day, but Monday as well. This being said, I have to remind you that come Tuesday, it is back to school. And for you kids, I don't know if you look forward to that or not. Some of you, maybe the younger ones do, maybe the older ones don't. But on Tuesday, it'll be back to school for students from junior kindergarten all the way to grad school. Plant production is going to be ramping up again. Plant closures are done for the summer. And it will be very much business as usual. And with the return of business as usual, there's going to be lots of pressure on you and on me to do things that maybe we haven't done for a while. There'll be lots of things vying for our attention and for the attention of our family members. And it will be tempting for you and for me to say yes to more than we should. And anybody who's ever eaten at a buffet restaurant knows what that's like, right? You go to the Mandarin or the King's Buffet, and you walk down this hallway with food on both sides, and you pass soups and salads and dinner rolls and all these different meats, shrimp and sushi and roast beef and chicken and pie and other desserts, ice cream. Is that ice cream? Ice cream, yeah? And it's awfully difficult to go down that line, that hallway, without saying yes to too much. It's the funniest thing. You get to go back for all you can eat. You know, the plate will come to you clean. But everybody, you watch them go to their seat, and their plates are like overflowing every time. It's like they think that they can only fit it on one plate, right? Well, in life, as in a buffet, our plates tend to fill up more quickly than we realize. We make efforts to be sociable, and in so doing, we accept everyone's invitations. We attempt to live a full life, and we want to experience everything, and so our calendars fill up. We attempt to be good parents, and so we give our kids more opportunities than we had, and we run ourselves ragged so that they can never say, well, you never gave me the opportunity when I was a kid. In attempting to be compassionate, we want to help with everyone's problems, and in attempting to be a good provider for our family, we work overtime, or we take extra shifts or assignments. The temptation to accept more than we should is especially strong at this time of year, and I'll explain why that is. It's Labor Day weekend, as was mentioned, and it's at the end of the summer that we just feel full, don't we? We're just walking around and we're feeling super full. You and I are like this bucket right here. And when the summer started, maybe you were that full. Maybe some of you were like bone dry, right? And with each activity in the summertime, each replenishing activity, each activity that you enjoy doing, you're adding a little bit of water to the bucket. So you take a vacation with your family, and you're adding some water. My illustrations, they're just so high-tech, right? You get to catch up on some extra sleep, more water in the bucket. You get to soak up some extra sun, more water in the bucket. You get to go to a family reunion that you haven't seen for half a year or more water in the bucket. You see your family members that live further away, more water in the bucket. You go to a beach like Sauble Beach or Wasaga or Grand Bend, more water in the bucket. And by the end of the summer, man, that bucket is really full. And, just joking. And this is the time of the year when we've got energy reserves galore. We've got energy to burn. And we feel like we could go, even though a vacation is nice, and even though, you know, if someone offers me more vacation time, I'm going to say sure, and you will too. We feel like we could go for a long while without another extended vacation, most of us. And so we not only have the energy we need to buckle down and do well in school, or to buckle down and give it when we get back to work, but we've got residual reserves of energy for things like sports and extracurricular activities like hobbies and volunteering. I walked through the mall this morning. I didn't see this, but last Sunday, maybe those of you who were here did the same thing. I walked through the mall last Sunday, and almost every square inch of hallway space was filled with these displays, obviously geared toward parents, featuring things that you can sign your kids up for now that life is back to normal, now that it's business as usual, and you're full because of the summer. I saw things like Aquajet swim team booth, girls volleyball league booth, indoor soccer, several martial arts displays were set up, and so forth. Now, can these things be good for you, for your kids? Well, sure they can. Each of those activities, they kind of fill us up somewhat. But because they require time and energy and attention, they also take away some of that water as well. They drain us a bit as well. And when you complicate it with a spouse who's also got extracurricular activities and kids, you can drain water off rather quickly. I'll show you what I mean. If you and your spouse, if you're married, and your kids, if you have them, are saying yes to every good opportunity that comes along, then before you know it, you're going to be running from the moment you get up in the morning until well into your evening, especially when your kids are a little bit older like mine. You wake up and it's a rush to get the kids ready for school. You take them to school. You drop them off at school. What do? Well, you go to work, right? You put in your day of work, and then someone's got to pick up the kids. So either you or your spouse go and pick up the kids. You go home. Before you go home, the kids have music lessons, right? So you go to a music lesson. Then you go home, quick dinner because they've got some activity after dinner. Maybe it's swimming lessons, maybe it's karate, maybe it's indoor soccer, maybe it's football practice. So you go to the sport after dinner, and while they're at their sport, you figure, I got to take care of myself too. So you go to the gym, and then after your exercise, you go back to pick them up from the field or from the YMCA or whatever, and you bring them home, put them to bed, hardly have any energy left, plop yourself in front of the TV, watch an hour of your favorite primetime show, maybe spend 30 minutes checking your Facebook messages or your personal emails, and then you go to bed. And then Tuesday morning, it's the same thing. Right? And that whole cycle repeats, and we say, well, that's no big deal. It's no big deal in September. It's no big deal even in October because we're full, right? It's all new and it's exciting. But before we realize that the days get shorter and the nights get longer and colder, and this whole regimented routine becomes like a yoke that weighs us down and depletes our reserves. Hence the expression, I'm back to the daily grind. Back to the daily grind. And I don't think God intended you and I to live our lives as though it were a daily grind all the time. I agree with a medical doctor who also happens to be a Christian named Richard Swenson. He says this. He argues that the healthiest lifestyles come equipped with 4 gears. And I want to share these with you. The first gear is park. I didn't know park could be a gear, but anyway, the first gear is park, and it's for times of rest and renewal. It's the gear that we use to replenish our batteries.